Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. As you see by today's title and clicking on today's video, I have all new June-O-Ween DIYs for you that you can make with Dollar Tree products. These DIYs are super easy to do and really fast to make, and hopefully will be really inspirational for the spooky season that is coming fairly quickly. I am so excited and I cannot wait. If you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family, where we do a lot of DIYs with an artistic twist. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and spending a little time with me. Don't forget to do all of the YouTube things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one person. It really does help out my channel. Now, with all that being said, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. For this DIY, you're going to need a canvas. Any canvas, any size, whatever you desire. This one is a 8x8, I believe, and I am just removing it from the packaging. Now, I don't know about you, but I am fairly new to a new technique, which isn't new anymore, but it's called a exploding canvas or a breakaway canvas, and that is what we are going to make today. So I have this fabric that I received from Temu a while back, but you can pretty much use anything. You can even paint the back of the canvas. Now I'm going to use this piece of fabric on the back of my canvas, not the front of it, and you want the image facing towards you. So to adhere down my fabric to the canvas, I'm just using Mod Podge. I am using a really thick layer to really make sure that my fabric adheres down to my canvas, and I'm just using a regular old paint brush to paint on the glue. So like I mentioned before, you can pretty much use any images that you want on the back of the canvas, but make sure that the image is facing you while you are gluing it down, because when you break the canvas later or bust through it, or however you want to describe it, the image will show through on the other side. So as you see here, I just laid the fabric into the glue and I'm pressing down firmly, making sure that all of the glue is touching that fabric that is down on the canvas now. Then I'm adding another layer of Mod Podge right on top of it, but this time I'm adding even a thicker layer because I just really want to ensure that the fabric is attached to the canvas. Then I will place that to the side to completely dry and make sure that it is completely dry so that when you are removing it, it won't peel up from the canvas. Now to remove the fabric from my canvas, I am using an X-Acto knife. Now you want to be really careful that you don't cut through all the way to the canvas part. So there is a lip underneath the canvas where it hits the frame, and that's where I'm sticking my knife in and making sure to go really slow so that I can pull away the rest of that fabric. Once my fabric was removed, we are going to flip around our canvas, and for me, I am going to paint it completely black. Now there is many different ways that you can do this. You can add another piece of fabric, you can also add another cardstock, whatever your heart's desire, right on top, but I just figured I am going to paint mine black. Once my black was completely dry, as you see here, I have my Mod Podge again, and I am just going to add a light layer of that on top of my black canvas. Now with this, you kind of want to go in one direction just so that the streaks on top of your canvas doesn't look too messy. So I am just going in a back and forth motion, as you see here, making sure to get all of the top of my canvas covered, because I am going to cover it using some glitter. Now this is extra fine glitter in crystal diamond. I purchased this at Walmart a couple years ago, and I am at the very end of it, and I know a lot of you do not like glitter. So if you do not want to do this step, you can totally skip it. I just felt like my canvas needed just a little bit more of something, so I added some sparkle. Another thing that I wanted to add to my exploding canvas is this little jack-o'-lantern wooden cutout that was part of a sign from a Dollar Tree. It was just in my crafting stash, so I thought it was perfect and it fit really nicely in the center of that canvas. So as you see here, I am just painting it in this orange color from my apple barrel collection, and I'm just giving it a nice generous coat right on top. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. After I was done with that layer, I did go in with a brown color just to really give it some dimension and also dirty it up a little bit, because I like the vintage old look with this. So that is what I'm doing with this paintbrush here. Remember, you can paint your jack-o'-lantern however you want. I just really like the orange for mine. I did place that to the side to completely dry, and once both of our pieces were completely dry, it was now time to attach one to the other. Now to do so, you're going to need a backing. You can always use cardboard, you can always use a piece of wood, whatever your heart's desire. I'm using a scrapbooking paper that I cut down to size, but made sure it was a little bit bigger than the actual backing so that it had room for me to attach it down. Now this is going to be the backing for my jack-o'-lantern also, but I wanted my jack-o'-lantern to sit up off of the paper just a little bit, and I'm just using 3 of these orange beads that I had on hand. I just used hot glue to attach it down to the jack-o'-lantern, and I'm going to use hot glue to attach it down to our scrapbooking paper. I did try to make it as centered as possible. That way when you look through the canvas, he will be the surprise that is inside. I did place him to the side really quickly because I needed something to adhere it down to, and to remedy that, I have some of these square beads in my crafting stash that I purchased from Dollar Tree a really long time ago that I am hot gluing in each of the corners. That way when we add our jack-o'-lantern backing to it, we have a placement where the scrapbooking paper will touch the inside of our canvas and you won't be able to see it. Now just a quick side note, I should have painted the inside of my frame and those wooden pieces before I attach the scrapbooking paper. I did not, so I had to go back and paint it in later, but if you're doing this, I suggest painting it now. Now it's time to make the canvas look like it's exploding or busted through, and to do so, I'm using my X-Acto knife again, and I'm cutting through that canvas. I made a long slice, and then I'm making these little triangular cuts here on the side, and then I'm pushing through. This is how it looks, and as you see here, you can see the fabric on the other side that we attached bust through the canvas. Then I took the X-Acto knife and just cut out more so I know exactly what it looks like and had enough to really look like it was busting through. It is really your preference on how far you want to go, but I just kept going until my X-Acto knife hit the wooden frame on the back of it. Now it's time to attach the backing to the canvas. Once again, I am attaching it to those little squares that we glued down earlier. And once again, I'm just using my hot glue gun, adding a little bead of hot glue to the square and pressing down my scrapbooking paper. You're going to need to then flip your canvas around and decide how you want to place your canvas onto itself. Now I'm just using hot glue once again to hot glue my canvas pieces back onto the canvas, and as you see here, I'm twisting and I'm pulling all different directions to really make it look like it is bursting out. I liked that I twisted some of those pieces, and it just looks like the little jack-o'-lantern is so happy that he is busting out of that canvas. I did add a little hanger to the back of it, but that completes this DIY. Here is how our busted canvas looks like. I absolutely love this. This was really fun to make, and just look how happy he turned out. I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. I am really blown away and I can't wait to make more. Moving right into our next DIY, I have some of these stencils that was sent to me by Temu a while back, and I am just now getting around to using them. They come in all different types of sayings and images, and as you see here, they are really big and really detailed. I absolutely love this. Now, Dollar Tree does sell stencils, so you might have to wait until their Halloween decor comes out, but I decided to use this one. Another thing that I am using for this DIY is some more of the scrapbooking paper. I have these recollection scrapbooking paper that I purchased from Michael's a while back. I used to buy these paper pads so many times, and I believe the past 2 years I haven't gone around to Michael's to buy a new one, so I am just using the ones that I have on hand. Next, you're going to need a piece of wood or a Dollar Tree sign, and I'm just using this one that I had in my crafting stash. I outlined it onto my scrapbooking paper, and I am now just cutting it out using a regular pair of scissors. Now remember, you can change this up however you like it. You can always paint the backing of your sign, but I just thought it was really nice to use my scrapbooking paper again. I kind of miss scrapbooking. Does anybody out there still scrapbook? Let me know down in the comments section below. Now, to attach my scrapbooking paper to my piece of wood here, I am once again using some Mod Podge. I'm making sure to add a nice generous layer right on top of it, and then I'm going in with my hot glue gun and adding a little bead of hot glue to the edges of my little board here, and then I'm going to add my scrapbooking paper right on top, making sure to be as centered as possible. Once that was attached and even, I then took my stencil and I laid it right on top of my wooden sign, and I just used a bunch of tape to hold it down into place so that when I start tracing out those letters, it won't be able to move. Now, I started off using a Sharpie marker, but then it just died on me, so I'm just using a regular pen, and I'm going to outline all of those words and the brooms on the side. Now, I didn't want my sign to say Wicked Witch, so I'm just skipping that word, and then I'm going to slide down the sign just a bit so that I can add the hat and the little bats and the word the on top of the word witch that I stenciled in earlier. Then I will remove that also. The reason I am tracing instead of just adding paint and stenciling it on is because I was worried about some bleed through. I didn't want to ruin the scrapbooking paper, so I just stenciled mine in by tracing it out, and then I will fill it in using my Posca paint markers. As you see here, I have my black Posca paint marker, and I'm just filling in the areas that I want it black. I attach the letters together because I didn't like the spacing in between. I like that it's connected and it has the true form of the letter, and then I just continue adding it to the areas that I wanted it black. Now, for added detail, I'm going in with a gold paint pen. I believe this is from Sharpie, and I'm adding it to the little squiggles on the side of the words and also onto my broomsticks. Once those had time to dry and everything was traced out, as you see here, I'm just taking my little sander. I'm sanding off the excess paper that was on the side so everything was nice and smooth and nothing was hanging over. And lastly, for just a little bit more added detail, I have some of these half wooden beads that I'm adding to the edges of my little sign here. Once again, that is totally optional. I just felt like it was missing something. Then I wanted to paint it that same gold that we used on our sign so that it was nice and matching. Lastly, once again, I just needed to add a little hanger, and to do so, I'm just using my little ribbon that I've been using for hangers for years now, and I'm hot gluing it down to place. I did add a piece of tape and extra hot glue just to make sure that everything was glued down. This is how my witch's sign turned out, and I just thought it was so simple and easy but really effective, and just reminds me of a sign that a green witch would have in her kitchen or even her bathroom. I absolutely love it and would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comments section below. All right, friends, that completes today's round of DIYs. I know this was a really quick and easy video for you, but I just thought this would be really nice just to throw in and get ready for the spooky season that is coming closely. Plus, it's June-O-Ween. I just love doing these types of DIYs. I would love to know which one of these two signs was your favorite down in the comment section below. Also to let me know if you guys still scrapbook. I really miss it, so I might get back into it. Remember, friends, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel. Don't forget, friends, I also have other socials. I have a Facebook, Instagram, and now a Patreon page where I like to share my upcoming videos, early digital downloads, and so much more. If you want to check it out, the link will be down in the description box below. I also want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me and continuing to help me grow my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy, and as always, I will see you in the next one.